All right, well, welcome everyone. This is the 2021 SM Hentges & Sons Safety Day. And really want to tell you thank you for being here and watching this. This is a new thing for all of us. And we're going to work our way through this. There might be a few glitches or whatever with the format because it is new. But we do appreciate you bearing with us and kind of we'll get through this together here. So I want to, in addition to thanking you for being here, I want to also have a special thank you to the folks that pulled this together. Our in-house safety man, Adam, is kind of the main person who pulled all this together and orchestrated things. Got Dwayne Burcham, our IT guru, who has pulled together the equipment and the formatting and everything we needed to pull this off. And also Nate Hentges for kind of organizing the overall technology piece with us. So thanks guys for helping us make this work. One thing that you'll need to do if you're at home watching this is you need to check in on your computer, your web browser, go to smhsafe.com, that's one word, smhsafe.com. And there's a little box there where you can check in. And what that'll do is it'll tell us that you did indeed watch the entire safety video. There'll be some opportunities for some drawings and prizes as part of that, so you want to make sure you get checked in and get credit and take advantage of those opportunities. So what I'm going to cover here today, I've got a couple of pieces. I'm going to do an overall, just some thoughts on what it is to work at SM Hentges & Sons. I'm going to give a recap of 2020, and then I'll have some thoughts on 2021 and beyond and what's in store for all of us here that work at SM Hentges & Sons. One of the things that we've talked about quite a bit in past meetings is trying to build better people. This is, we think of coming to work at Hentges and we build bridges and roads and sewer and water, but really there's a bigger goal, a bigger part of that is we want to build better people amongst the people that work here together with us. And we want to make sure that we're doing our best to hire and retain the best and the brightest in the industry. And so how do we do that? Well, we need to make sure that we're making Hentges a great place to work for all of us. So as part of that, we talk about how do we do things at Hentges, or what is the Hentges way? I think it means that we work hard, we have high expectations, we work as a team, we have great teamwork here. A big part of it is attitude. Come to work with a positive attitude every day. We take on some of the toughest projects, and so part of that attitude is that we can do anything we set our mind to. And I see that in our crews in the field, the guys working in the shop, and the admin people in the office here, the PMs, the estimators. From top to bottom, I think it's an attitude of let's get it done. If something comes up along the way, we're not going to let it stop us. We'll just work through it and keep a good positive attitude. Another piece of it is that we all have an attitude of, it's part of the teamwork, that there's no job that is beneath me. So I think anybody would how do I want to say it? I think never expect someone to do a job that you wouldn't be willing to do yourself. And I think that's an attitude that comes right from our founder of the company, Steve and Jeanette. They built this company on that attitude, and it still exists today from top to bottom. And so that's the kind of people we look to hire and retain and promote within Hentges. Another part of working here is recognizing that we do work hard. The hours are long, especially some of the folks that work more seasonally and put in really long days in the summer months. We want to make sure that everyone working here has a good work-life balance or work-life harmony. We understand that if you're happy at work, and doing what you like to do, and work is good for you, that you go home and you're a better person at home for your friends and family. And we also recognize that if you're happy at home and among your friends and family, that you're bringing a better attitude to work at Hentges. So we want to do what we can as a company to make sure that we're helping each person here achieve that work-life harmony. We spend a lot of time working together. Other than sleeping, it's probably one of the things we do more than anything else in life is work together with the people where we work. And so it's important that we are able to work well together. If you're not happy in your job, I guess the question I would ask you is why? Is there a different job you should be doing? Is it something that needs to be fixed or worked out at home? There's something wrong there. We want everybody that's working here to be doing a job that they like to do and that they're passionate about. For me personally, I can relate to some of the things I've just talked about. I'd like to say that I really have a great opportunity here. I get to work with some really great people that inspire me every day with the things they do, the challenges that they're able to overcome, and the situations that come up on the projects or in the office. So I'm really impressed with the dedication and the hard work, and it's motivating to me to be around people like all of you. And so that's what it means to me to be able to work here with you at Hentges. I also want to talk about opportunities and recognize that there are people that want to do more than what they're currently doing in their career, and we want to be a place where we provide that opportunity here at Hentges. So if you have aspirations to do a different job or a job that maybe involves leadership, we want to do what we can as a company and as leaders within the company to make sure we're providing those opportunities. We don't want to see people leave Hentges to find those opportunities elsewhere. So I would encourage anyone who does have goals like that to make sure you're talking to your manager, your leaders, share what your goals are, and talk about what can we do as a company to help you achieve those goals. As part of providing opportunity here at Hentges, I do want to talk about EEO briefly, and I believe Donna will be saying more later about that. It's a very important topic here at Hentges, equal employment opportunity. We want to make Hentges a great place to work for everyone. So we don't care what religion or race or what color your skin is. You are all welcome here, and we want to make sure you feel that this is a great place for you to work as well. And we want you to tell your friends and family this is a great place to work so that we can attract more people to come and work here. So make sure that everyone is doing your part individually to create an environment where everybody that works here feels welcome. And Donna will talk more about that. We want to create these opportunities for growth within. We want to help provide the training that's needed, but also we want to make sure that everyone should know that if your goal is to grow and to learn new roles within the company, to grow your career, there is an incredible wealth of information that's available. It's at your fingertips through the internet. And I would encourage you not to wait for a class that you might sign up for or go to school or what have you. Those things are fine and they have their place. But if you're serious about learning new things, new technology, new software, I would encourage you to take advantage of the information that's there. It's free, it's available when you're able to use it. So make sure you're continually learning, teaching yourself those new skills that you need to grow in your role here at Hentges. obviously, the first thing I'd have to start with would be COVID. That came out of nowhere, I think, in a lot of people's minds about a year ago. It was, I think, early March when we started realizing this was going to be a serious thing and impacting our lives personally and from a business standpoint. And so it was a real fast learning curve. And I would say I'm very impressed with how we reacted to that and dealt with that as a company. We quickly organized a COVID leadership team led by Adam Schmitz, and he did a great job of keeping all of us up to date on what the latest ever-changing CDC guidelines were. And I want to thank all of you for really stepping up and helping us. We had a pretty good year in terms of that. We had a few cases, but we did a nice job of keeping those isolated, not having any large outbreaks, and I think we're still doing a good job of maintaining that. So thank you for each one of you that helped make that happen here at Hentges. I also want to encourage people to continue to follow the guidelines and the rules that workplace rules that we've put in place. Let's not let our guard down. The virus is still out there. There's still variants that are popping up here and there, including recently here in Carver County. So let's keep our guard up. Let's be careful. If you're able to get vaccinated, or when you are, please do. And let's make 2021 a good, safe year in terms of avoiding the COVID virus. Other things that were key in 2020, that one was the impact of COVID on the economy and the fuel pricing, that we saw significant reductions after March in fuel pricing, which had a big impact as a company. I'm sure you can all imagine we use an incredible amount of fuel every day to run the machines and to keep trucks and people moving around to the job site. So that had a big impact, a favorable impact on our operations this year. We did have a good year in spite of COVID. We kept everybody busy. We were able to hire additional people and grow our company. We did actually get over 300 employees, I believe, for the first time here this summer. Weather was also a huge impact. If you remember, about a year ago in our meeting, we were coming off 2 consecutive extremely wet seasons, which had definitely hurt our performance those years. And I believe it was Nate Hentges who stood up at the safety meeting last year and guaranteed a good season of weather this year. And so I want to thank Nate for delivering on his promise with the weather. Other things that are new and were new in 2020, we added the asphalt paving group, and this was a great addition to the company. It really allows us to control a job. If we can schedule our own crews on the paving, it makes a big impact on how we're able to manage our jobs. We were very fortunate being able to pull together Curly and Maury and their crew that came over together. Some really talented, seasoned people there that helped us get that group up and running very quickly and efficiently. And also brought in Darren on the estimating side, who came from a long background of doing estimating and project management of asphalt projects. The other thing we did in 2020 is we really got going on our introduction to Procore. It was a real steep learning curve. I want to thank Bob Brown and Nate and Ryan for really helping spearhead that in terms of helping train the rest of us here and get us going on it. I think we'll talk more about what's in store for 2021 with Procore, but in 2020 it was really just a ramping up. We got the software, we got it really started, and so it's a great first step with that. Also, we added a drone with Amy and Bob are using the drone now to survey sites for earthwork quantities and to do aerial photography and aerial video, and that's been a great addition for the company in terms of being able to monitor progress, look at future jobs that we might be bidding, etc. In 2020, many of you had interactions with the Tri-S company over in Shakopee, which is a separate but family-owned entity dealing with sand and gravel and crushed concrete and staging of materials between projects. And that really gave us a competitive advantage on some projects near there, and it allowed us to set up our crushing and keep the crusher busy crushing materials when it wasn't needed at a specific job site. So it was a nice way to use that property over there as it's being developed for industrial uses. We did have a tough year in terms of utility hits, and I know Adam's going to dig into that quite a bit more as another segment to our safety day today. But I just want everyone to know that it was definitely something that saw an increase, and it's something that we as a company want to work together. When somebody hits a utility on a job site, it's not one person's fault, it's something that we all failed as a company. And so we look at it like this is something we all need to solve as a company. And so Adam will be digging into some ideas we have for going forward to make sure that we're doing a better job. And we're looking forward to bringing our utility hits significantly lower in 2021. 2021 also represents the 40th anniversary of the founding of SM Hentges & Sons, and so we're excited about that. We want to congratulate Steve and Jeanette for what they started at their kitchen table many years ago, and for the growth they've seen and for the opportunities that they provided for all of us to be part of this growth and continuing operation. So congratulations, and thank you to everybody here at Hentges for your role in helping make that growth and success possible. I mentioned Procore earlier in the recap, and I think 2021 is really going to be the year of Procore. We're going to get all projects on the system. We're going to get all information related to each of those projects into Procore, so that we can have Procore as the single source of truth for all projects. It's a great communication tool. It's a great documentation tool. We're looking forward to creating more dashboards where we can quickly get a handle on the condition of various aspects of the project. We're looking forward to adding the financials component to that. And so again, I want to just encourage everybody who would be using Procore to continue to learn and grow in that system, as we'll be using more and more of it going forward. Safety, 2021 is going to be a big focus. We talked about the utility hits, and again, Adam will be talking more about that. We are excited about the new vac truck, which is a significant investment in providing more opportunities for exploration before excavation. And so we've got both vac trucks now, and we look forward to using those more and more in that role, so that we can hopefully bring those numbers way down in terms of utility hits. 2021 represents some new opportunities for development of the Tri-S site. We're currently in talks in the purchase agreement with a developer that would take about 2/3 of that property, and they're going to build what would be the largest speculative warehouse distribution facility in the state of Minnesota. And so it's a great opportunity to develop that land into its highest and best use, which is industrial warehousing facilities. Unfortunately, it takes away from our capacity with Tri-S, but we are looking forward to moving the Tri-S operation over to the east side of the property and continuing in 2021 and beyond with that. And that's what I have to say about 2021, and it's very exciting. I'm really looking forward to getting the season going here. The weather is really nice now. It's still early March, but spring is really around the corner. We're ramping up. Looking forward to seeing all of you back on the job, and I'm looking forward to getting out to the sites more this year. COVID put a little bit of a damper on that last year, but I'm looking forward to seeing each of you out there and talking to you about your projects and seeing what you're doing. And we've got some great exciting things on tap here at Hentges, and we're really glad that you're part of it here with us. And again, thank you for sitting through the video and bearing with us. If we have to do this again, I'm sure we'll be much more efficient at it. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Hentges, the Director of Operations at SM Hentges & Sons. I want to thank you for attending our virtual safety day. 5 years ago, I never thought we'd be doing a virtual safety day. 2020 presented its challenges to us. We overcame it. Here's 2021. We're coming at you live on the TV screen. So my favorite part of working with my fellow employees and co-workers is working with the people that surprise you, working with the ones that want it, the ones that do the training, the ones that are growing, the ones that are knowing what they're doing, the ones that have the confidence, the ones that are building their future, that want to be a part of SM Hentges for the future, the ones that basically the ones that are growing with the company. It's great to have interaction, positive interaction, to get the feedback from people, learn what they want, learn some of what their goals are. The more I can know about the people I work with, the more we can help that person to get there and to grow to that level. So safety helps people grow in a lot of ways. If you make safety a habit, don't make it a hassle. If you practice safe habits, well, one, you'll probably live longer. Two, you'll grow into places you didn't know you were going to grow into. Just having a safe background, and it rolls over into your home life too. It's do you do risky things at home that you shouldn't do, that you would do at work, or do you think before you do that, or do you just do it and then think, I should have thought of something different? So it's just being safe and just practicing overall safe habits in your life will help you succeed at no matter what you're trying to do, personal or work related. So if you're not feeling that something's safe, if you're not feeling that something's kosher, you have every right to talk to your supervisor. You have every right to speak up and to have a safe culture and a safe environment. It's important to all of us, or it's on all of us, to watch out for each other. If you see something that isn't right, and you see somebody that's new or somebody that's old gonna go do that. Maybe they don't know better. Maybe they haven't had the same training you had. Maybe they don't realize what they're about ready to walk into or fall into, or if there's a pothole and it's not covered, don't wait for somebody else to say that they're gonna come cover it up. Just find a way to make it happen. Take the initiative. Do what's right. Don't say it's not my job. Safety is all of our jobs. People will notice when you're going above and beyond and doing the things that create a safe environment, the things that create a positive environment. Those are the things that people want. Those are the things that other people want to work with. Those are the people that other people want to work with. The things don't go unnoticed. The small things add up, turn into big things, and eventually your day comes and you're recognized. Yeah, so safety, you shouldn't ever become complacent. Like once you start becoming complacent, that's when I feel like injuries happen, or I've noticed it even just myself, and I'm getting older, we'll say that, but if I see some chunks of dirt on the ground, I'm a little more cautious. I walk around them, or I watch where I'm walking so I don't roll my ankles. If I'm crawling out of a loader or something, I'm more about the 3-point of contact than I was, let's say, 5 years ago. When I land on the ground after I jump out, my knees give a little bit different sounds than they did 5 years ago. So just by being more aware of your surroundings and making sure things are done right to the best of your ability, making sure everybody goes home every night, making sure the proper signage is up, watching out for the general public. It's all good stuff. Yeah, so the morning talk, the daily safety talk, whether you're there with a crew leader or maybe you're just there, a couple of people on your own, that's leaders reporting into you as the day goes on. It's important. Take the time to communicate to each other, like what you're all gonna do today, what the plan is, what the goal is, what the hazards are, what the utilities are in the way, what the overheads are. 5, 10, 15 minutes of communication in the morning before you start your tasks, or even if it changes throughout the day, just stop, take 5 minutes, reiterate what we're gonna do, who's responsible for what, put names to it, assign things like, Adam, you grab the fire extinguisher, I'm gonna grab the torch. Don't just say, hey, you grab, be exact, be a leader, speak with authority when you guys are coming up with plans. Make sure you're clear, make sure you're concise, so everybody knows what their duties are for the tasks that you're about to go after. All right, as we leave 2020 in the taillights, we're really looking forward to the 2021 season. There was a lot of ups and downs in the 2020, a lot of challenges, a lot of unknowns, and I thank you all for we overcame them. We got better, we got bigger, we got stronger. We had a crazy 2020 with the COVID. We had a crazy 2020. We took on asphalt paving. We dumped like 140,000 tons of asphalt our first year. It was a good year for construction. We had light traffic. We had less restrictions. We had our biggest hurdles was keeping the crews safe and keeping everybody safe from the hazards and keeping everybody safe from the virus that we couldn't see. Thank you all for doing an excellent job, doing the wiping things down, doing the spray, whatever you did to do your part to make 2020 a success. Thank you for that. 2021 brings us a lot of fortune as well. We have a lot of carryover work from last year. I I think right now we have, 65, $70 million on the books. So we have over half our workload already secured for the 2021 season. But that being said, we're hoping for sunshine. We're hoping for dry weather like last year. We're looking for good hours for the employees. We're looking for health for everyone. We're looking for a new normal, back to normal, whatever that is. We're looking forward to being able to sit a little closer than 6 feet apart at lunch. Looking forward to getting out and seeing everybody more, being able to stop and mingle a little bit, being able to throw in some barbecues. Yeah, I'm looking forward to more Zoom meetings too. They've become a great way to be more efficient and cram more into a day, cover more ground to help us as a company be able to reach more people, more leaders, more managers, and pass on information more personally as well. So 2020, we learned how to use Zoom, and we learned how to cope with the unknown. 2021, we're looking forward to using that to move forward, keep building better people, and make it a success as well.
Hello everyone, my name is Donna Koyman and I am responsible for the EEO duties at SM Henches & Sons. EEO stands for Equal Employment Opportunity. I've worked at Henches for nearly 5 years now, and I've been the EEO officer for 4 years. The reason I have a part in the annual meeting is not only to introduce myself, but to review the SM Henches EEO affirmative action policies. It's important for you to remember my name because on some of our larger jobs, if it's being audited, MnDOT will appear on the job and ask if you know who the EEO officer is and ask what his or her name is. So again, my name is Donna Koyman. Please remember it. We do anticipate an audit at some time during 2021. One of my requirements as the EEO officer is to make sure that you are familiar with the SM Henches & Sons EEO policy. As a good exercise, I like to read directly from this policy annually. The SM Henches & Sons EEO policy affirms that we will provide equal opportunity to all employees and applicants in accordance with all applicable equal opportunity and affirmative action laws. SM Henches & Sons will not discriminate against or harass any employees or applicants for employment because of the protected classes in the state of Minnesota. The state of Minnesota includes race, color, creed, religion, national origin, sex, sexual orientation, disability, age, marital status, familiar status, membership or activity in a local human rights commission, status with regard to public assistance. SM Henches & Sons will take affirmative action to ensure that all employment practices are free of such discrimination. These employment practices include, but are not limited to, the following: hiring, upgrading, demotion, transfer, recruitment or recruitment advertising, layoff, disciplinary action, termination, rates of pay, training, and in addition, we will provide reasonable accommodations to applicants and employees with disabilities. A couple examples include we cannot base our employment decisions based on someone's age. We cannot promote someone younger simply because their potential for longer-term employment is greater. Our EEO policy is included in the SM Henches new hire paperwork. It is reviewed at our annual startup meeting. It is reviewed twice a year in the toolbox talks. It is posted on our employee bulletin board by the time clock and on our job boards. Foreman and superintendent should have a copy saved to their tablets, and if you need a copy, please contact me. Diversity and affirmative action is far more than checking boxes and meeting goals to bring in underrepresented groups to the construction field. Diversity is essential for SM Henches to continue growing and succeeding. Our goal is to develop a culture where everyone can thrive and be the best person for the job. One of the primary goals is to have employees look forward to coming to work and feel comfortable while they are here. Every one of you can help, even if it's simply making someone's first day on the job better. You do not have to be a supervisor to make a difference. We hire new employees because we need them, and they are essential and an important part of the team. Training and retaining the employees beats having to start all over with the hiring process. SM Hentges & Sons is not the company it was even 2 years ago. The world is changing. SM Hentges & Sons is growing as a company and improving as we grow. We are sensitive to these changing times. What was okay in the past is no longer tolerated. You never know when someone may be offended. They may be laughing at your joke, just trying to fit in, or simply avoiding confrontation. Stereotypes you might hear on TV or social media are not workplace appropriate. In reflection to last year, there are a couple situations I'd like to share with you so we can learn from them. The first few examples involve comments that may not have been intended to be offensive, but they were received as offensive and hurtful. The first example involves an employee that was joking and making fun of another employee's ancestry. And not only was it received as offensive, but other employees on the job site witnessed and heard these comments. You and your words are a reflection of this company. Employees have a right to be free of discriminatory harassment in the workplace. The next example involves an employee that was very comfortable and very familiar with another individual on the job site, and they're used to joking with one another, having fun, and then the employee made a joke about the individual's wife, referring to the fact that she had a different color of skin and nationality. The employee thought since they were used to joking with one another, it'd be okay to make a joke. The employee was wrong. Even though his intentions were not to be hurtful, it was received as an unpleasant and unwelcome comment. Once again, others overheard the comment and is reported to the owners and administrators on the job. The final comment I want to mention to you involves unreported offensive graffiti on a job site. A sewer pipe was buried with the graffiti on it and later dug up again, exposing this graffiti. It is a temporary sewer plug, and although the facts are difficult to determine, along with who wrote the comment, or perhaps was even a used end cap that was covered in dirt when we buried it. Regardless, another project entity viewed the situation as disregarded, like we disregarded the graffiti. Again, this was a reflection on SM Hentges & Sons for not taking action. If you see graffiti, please report it to your foreman, and at a minimum, we need to cover it or replace the part with the graffiti on it. SM Hentges & Sons takes all claims seriously and investigates all allegations. These cases are not only investigated internally, but they can also be reported to the Minnesota Department of Human Rights. You can be individually named in a discrimination complaint. Do not put yourself in a situation where you are defending yourself on a human rights claim. One comment can have consequences that can linger for months and even years. What we say and how we treat others matters. Report. This form can be used for reporting any type of incident or harassment. If you need a copy, you can contact me by calling the front desk or calling me directly, and I can make sure you get a copy of the form. We want SM Hentges & Sons to be a great place to work for everybody, regardless of your background, your race, your religion, your sex, and so on. We come to work hard and be a team, and hard work stands out. SM Hentges & Sons will not tolerate discrimination in the workplace. All of our MnDOT contracts state that SM Hentges & Sons must not discriminate or harass anyone on the job site. This includes sexual harassment and jokes. Foreman and superintendent, we need you to set the example on the job site. Do not ignore anyone being treated differently or unfair. I'll end my EEO segment by saying, all of you who work in the field, you impress me. When I stop by a job site and see the laborers and operators and drivers in action, it looks like a perfectly performed masterpiece. You are the heart and soul of this business, and continue working safely. SM Henches & Sons is now hiring for the 2021 construction season. Please tell your friends and family to apply directly on our website. SM Henches & Sons is an equal opportunity affirmative action employer. Please feel free to call me, stop in the office, email me. I can meet you on the job site if I can help with anything. Thank you so much for your time.
Hi, I'm Adam Schmitz. I'm the safety manager here at SM Henches & Sons. This will be my third season with the company. I'm very excited to see what 2021 has to offer. My role as a safety manager is very diversified. Keeps me on my toes. Whether it's site safety audits, inspecting an accident, or just listening to a concern. It is always our employees that keeps me motivated to do my best. Every day I look forward to coming into work and having the opportunity to interact with such a passionate workforce. It's not a day that goes by where I'm not amazed at what it takes to finish a project. There's no shortage of personality here at Henches. I truly believe that culture was influenced by Steve and Jeanette Henches and their family, the owners. Everyone makes you feel that every role is important and is necessary to get the job done. Here at Henches, we have decades of construction experience in areas of underground utilities, concrete, curb and gutter, earthwork, bridge work, erosion control, sheet and piling services, maintenance, trucking, repairs. Most recently, last year, we got into asphalt paving. All these areas get complemented with the admin staff that's second to none. They really do put in just as much time and effort as everyone else in the field. Each trade and specialty has their own unique set of hazards and methods to keep everyone safe. It's important to have a strong safety culture, that's for sure, where employees feel empowered to speak up about safety and take action. All of our employees have the ability to exercise the stop work authority. It's important to us to have the feel of a safe environment while working here at Henches, and there's just simply no task that is more important than their health. When employees are new to this company or the industry, it definitely can be overwhelming and at times it's intimidating. This is where we rely on our senior employees, our foremen, our superintendents, and other levels of management to help keep the lines of communication open. We definitely believe that we just don't hire individuals for a job, but we like to introduce them to a career or help them further their career. One of the most exciting aspects here at Henches right now is definitely, for the last several years even, is the growth in numbers. The company continues to push their limits and achieve new milestones. For back-to-back years now, we've seen the amount of employees and peak last year, just over 300 employees. Also, the family continues to seek out new challenges and provide us with more opportunities to become more competitive and keep us all busy. Definitely exciting to be a part of this year's 40th anniversary. This has given us a lot of opportunity to reflect and provide perspective. The tools, equipment, the techniques all have evolved and become a little bit more versatile and efficient with applications. But one thing that remains steady over the years is the company's family values. There's too many of these stories where family businesses result in some kind of family division with the family members. In my opinion, what makes this family business a little bit different is everyone's ability to listen and respect each other's opinion. Keeping the lines of communication open and having employees feel empowered to express their concerns and question is just one of those pillars that supports this company's success. The safety of our employees is our company's #1 priority. We want to do what we can do to make sure that everyone goes home after a hard, long day and able to enjoy their time off with their family and loved ones. Every day, every project is filled with a new set of unique challenges and hazards to work around. We rely heavily on our employees to take charge and be accountable for their own safety and others around them. Because how different we are than most industries, our crews are spread out. Just keeping focus on safety is a challenge in itself. There's many of our employees that work independently for majority of the workday. We got operators shaping the site, mechanics servicing equipment, fleet drivers making their rounds. When this happens, the company can start to feel a little bit smaller and less likely that someone's watching and caring for you. We strive for our employees to have dignity and integrity. Having safe habits is not easy. And we have the expectations for our employees to be an example, not to cut corners and act in a professional manner. Safety is important because it never starts and ends with just one person. An accident has a ripple effect throughout a crew, a project, that not only can result in physical harm, but change others' mental states and affect morale. The concept of SMH Safe is a mindset that we want all our employees to have. We want to build and grow our safety culture by making safety a priority through preparation and persistence with our people and pride. By incorporating these principles to our daily activities, it will greatly improve the opportunity for everyone to go home safe. For many of our employees, the construction season gets a little bit long and the mind can start to drift. It could be like a personal situation, some exciting vacations coming up, or just mental fatigue. When safety is a priority, this must be satisfied before we can accomplish our goals. We must be prepared and be proactive with our safety needs. By holding the daily safety meetings every morning, it creates an opportunity for everyone to understand and ask questions about the daily tasks. It's vital to discuss the hazards and be prepared for each day and what exactly is the plan to combat them. A quick 5-10 minute meeting goes a long way towards the safety and making sure everyone gets to be able to go home. In addition to the daily safety meetings, our crew should be participating in weekly toolbox talks. This is just an open discussion about a general safety topic. It may or may not relate to the scope of their work, but it's meant to raise awareness and keep everyone focused and more well-rounded in when it comes to safety. Employees have a great opportunity to share experiences and offer different types of solutions to certain issues that are presented in those topics. Safety is all about change and ability to adapt. It's an easy concept, but very difficult to do. We are all creatures of habit and formality. When something is not a part of our daily lives, it's less likely that we're going to give it thought or maybe even overlook certain aspects. So it's important that our safety culture to remain persistent and talk about safety every day. The people in our company are the most important assets. They really drive it to the level of success that we achieve each year. Their voices and their feedback is valuable resources that fuels our safety culture. We want to continue to find ways for everyone to feel that they can be open and honest about their safety concerns and offer up solutions towards prevention. The amount of interaction that we receive shows the level of commitment and pride that everyone has towards safety. It's easy to remain quiet and keep your head down, but when there's a support system in place and there's others there to help burden the shoulders of safety, it makes it a little bit better to work here. The more that you can stay focused on safety, the more you can concentrate on the tasks that you're doing every day. Part of this season, we're excited to announce that we are launching smhsafe.com. The purpose of the site is to be a communication hub for our employees for safety and all related items. Our employees will be able to get access to this site and obtain information, discover some resources and different ways to interact with us. There's a great untapped potential with smhsafe.com. But we look forward towards discovering new ways to help everyone grow to be SMH safe. flood season was interesting to say the least. It really included many aspects where we as a company were forced to change and adapt to. The biggest and obvious safety concern was working through the coronavirus pandemic. I don't care where anyone lies on their personal beliefs with the virus, it was truly a scary and dramatic experience. No one really knew what to expect when the state shut down last year. Our employees were very uncomfortable to come to work at this time. So much information was being sent out, and it made it very difficult for anyone to digest what really needed to be done. Thankfully, we had a lot of things working towards our advantage to create a safe work environment. A large percentage of our workforce resides away from high density areas. This allowed us to buy a little bit more time and create a buffer in keeping the virus away from our jobs and our employees. Also, what usually is maybe a challenge, but our crew sizes are relatively small and don't really include cross mingling. So if there was a suspected or confirmed case, it could remain centralized and really limit any future potential exposures. Lastly, our employees work really great independently. That allowed us to really maximize our efficiency and minimize our exposures in person, and kind of forced us to improve our communication methods. Once we had a system in place, we were confident that it was going to keep everyone safe, and I believe that allowed our workforce to find some normality with the daily routine of being able to come to work. The level of transparency that was required by our employees was just simply amazing. There was a tremendous amount of trust placed on each one of our employees to answer the daily health screener honestly. We were prepared to take additional measures, but with the effort of the masses, we were able to keep things simplified. Last year, I personally responded to 132 reported suspected cases. That's just over a third of the workforce was affected in one shape or form. Out of those suspected cases, a medical professional recommended 68 COVID tests to be administered. In the end, unfortunately, we had 18 employees who reported a positive infection. Very happy that everyone was able to make a recovery and no one had to go to the hospital. So that's about 6% of our workforce, but really a dozen of those cases happened just between November and December. If you remember, that's when Minnesota saw a dramatic spike and the dials got turned back again. So when we were at our peak, 90% of our employees did not get bit, which is truly amazing. With the dials starting to be turned back and people getting vaccinated, we're starting to see a little bit of the light at the end of the tunnel. We are going to continue with our daily screeners for a little bit longer. This is really not our decision, but we need to continue to follow the CDC and our respected state health departments' instructions. In April, everyone's COVID emergency sick pay will reset. Employees will once again be potentially eligible to use up to 10 days of COVID sick pay for qualified reasons. There will be new vaccination accommodations that will be added to those qualified reasons. Just look for information that's going to be sent out and made available on smhsafe.com, and then also sent to your guys' personal email. We had overall 102 reported utility damages. This is about a 15% increase from 2019 and over a 50% increase from 2018. It's not a trend that none of us cares for to continue. Through investigations, we identified about 51 of those damages. We acted in a negligent manner and were not able to perform the necessary actions to avoid those damages. The leading root cause for damages was a failure to pothole or to discover the exact location of the buried utility. And once we did expose it, failure to protect the utility. Other factors that fed into these root cause was not protecting or preserving markings, miscommunications relating to locate requests, and assuming that utility wouldn't change depths. For many of our projects, we started out on a positive momentum, and then we would hit a wall or hit a series of multiple strikes in a very short span. The bulk of our at-fault damages came between July and November. We found that extremely alarming for just because where it fell in the projects. For many of our at-fault, it came down to attention to detail. There was many incidents where it was just flat out embarrassing and completely not to the level of professionalism that we as a company come to expect. One of the more common questions that I received was relating to a particular damage relating to a fiber line cut on Flying Cloud Road in Chanhassen. I listened to countless number of rumors and how much it would cost the company. I'm not sure if I really call them rumors because at some level, each one of them had a little bit of a level of truth. The cable cut did affect the hundreds of businesses in the metro area, and estimated loss for those businesses is millions of dollars for the downtime while that line was being repaired. Emergency services, hospitals, law enforcement, and first responders are common on these type of fiber lines. So if a fiber line is damaged, it does definitely have the potential to create a public risk and dramatically alters the community's ability to respond in a time of crisis. However, it is not common for the negligent party to be invoiced for the utility owner's client's interruptions. The negligent party receives the burden to pay for the cost of repairing the damages and restoring it to the previous state. So the emergency communication repairs for fibers is currently the most expensive type of repair, which results in the highest invoices. We received an invoice that was in the low six figures. In comparison to the average utility repair for 2020, it usually falls somewhere between $1,200 or $3,500. Those invoices are nothing to shrug our shoulders at, but you can see how multiple strikes of fiber lines can not only affect the safety of our employees, but it also affects the surrounding communities. Even if we're at fault, we still need to capture as much information as possible so we can keep the repair contractors honest and not tack on extra costs that go above and beyond the previous state. At the beginning of the last year, we reached out to Centerpoint to have a joint partnership towards safety and working around their lines. This relationship turned out to be resourceful after we experienced an unfavorable ratio towards the amount of gas line strikes and us responsible for those damages. In 2020, there was 31 strikes to gas lines. Only 7 of those strikes where we were not liable. That is 24 situations where there was a potential for extreme danger. There are additional safety actions that we need to make sure that we're following after damaging a gas line, especially when it's escaping flammable material. The excavator must call 911 and report the damages. This isn't just a company requirement, but is a state statute. For Centerpoint, we as a company went from not being on their at-risk company list last year to be one of the top at-risk companies in Minnesota. For 2021, we are making it an emphasis to calm the waters and sail with the wind at our backs. I have the utmost confidence that we have the right people returning this year to make this happen. We have a damage prevention committee that meets monthly and is devoted to making this change happen. During the winter months, I have taken the time to meet with Gopher State, Minnesota Office of Pipeline Safety, Iowa Utility Board, the locate contractors, utility owners damage prevention teams, and become involved with multiple statewide committees that are solely dedicated in improving excavation processes. Henches is fully committed to stop this growing trend and change it for the better. Some of the changes that we will take for this season to help initiate change is how we do our ticketing process. In the past, we started most of our projects with a meat ticket, and then going forward, we have a series of normal tickets every 2 weeks for Minnesota and every 20 days for Iowa. This process has resulted in a large volume of text messages or phone calls from locators asking if we need marks or if they actually need to come out. For projects that need multiple refreshes within a 2-week period, or has a complex marking description, or even is just active over a month, we need to be using our meat ticket only. In Minnesota, a meat ticket is diggable for up to 6 months. Iowa crews should still request a meet and take advantage of the opportunity to discuss the process and any of the challenges that you guys are going to face. You will need to continue to submit a refresh ticket every 20 days. Back to the Minnesota crews, it's important that we're documenting this following information at the locate meet. Contact information, so you want everyone to sign in and provide their information on the best way to contact them, what company they are and who they're marking for, what the marking instructions are, and when are those markings needed by. And then lastly, you need to establish and agree to a marking schedule and the means of communication to arrange those. So if you're going to say and request, hey, we need to have you guys here every other day at the beginning of the project, and then we'll kind of peter off, you can certainly say that. But on paper, you need to tell them, we need this by this date. This is what we need, this area, and we need you to come back on this date. And if you do not need them on that date, or you need them sooner, you need to contact them in an appropriate time frame. Over 24 hours is preferred. If you want the best result, give them 36 hours. Avoid requesting these scheduled meetings right away in the morning. There's certain other things, but they'll be able to give you an idea what works and doesn't work for them. They're there to help with us when we have these meets and be able to communicate what our needs are and effectively give them a clear picture. They're able to plan for that and give additional resources. So it's definitely something that we want to improve upon this year. Then after, we are documenting all future requests. This can be done through HCSS or Procore. Second, we need to follow up and verify the locate requests. We need to take our own actions and be proactive in taking our post-locate and pre-dug photos. Doing this during the daily safety meeting is highly recommended. Taking photos of any of the potholes or include measurements in our pictures will be extremely valuable resources down the road. And again, this is pertaining to preventative measures. So it's definitely necessary in our investigations if something were to happen, but we also want to be taking these measurements on our preventative measures too. Lastly, crews should be using more visual cues to preserve markings and communicate to other departments. Using whiskers, lath, 2x4s, underground hazard signs, caution tape, barriers, cones are all methods that we need to be using. It will take extra effort, but ultimately this is what it needs to be done to ensure the safety and health and the success of our projects. More details and training will take place in the future. Also, there was an increase in citations and violations in our federal motor carrier safety administrative rating. This involves our commercial vehicles that are over 10,000 pounds and provides us industry averages for various safety measurables. Last year, we had 13 violations stemming from 10 incidents involving some interaction with enforcement. In comparison to 2019, we only had 2 negative remarks. The area of concerns is unsafe driving and vehicle maintenance. There was issues relating to speeding, seatbelts, or issues with vehicle lights like blinkers or brake lights. These items are very correctable with additional training and situation audits throughout the year. So we're going to be start doing a little bit more of those. On a positive note, we continually made strides in areas of employee injuries. Even though the company experienced an increase in total number of man hours from just under 500,000 to just over 531,000, we saw an overall decrease in severity. The total number of days away from work or days away of a job transfer or restrictions is at the lowest it's been in over 5 years. This means that employees that were injured on the job last year were able to keep working and maximize their earning potential. We continue to see our insurance experience modification rate to move closer to the industry average of 1.0. This score affects how our estimators are able to bid future projects and become eligible for consideration. If we put together another year like last year, we could be in contention of surpassing or falling below that 1.0 rating. The biggest trend in injuries for 2020 was eye trauma, lacerations, and strains and sprains. It was alarming that we had 6 situations where an employee got something in their eye and needed above first aid attention to get treated at urgent care or an eye specialist. One of those incidents did involve an employee missing over a month of work. So this is something that we all can work together and help each other out. We need to make sure that we're all wearing the appropriate eye and face protection when there is exposures to our face or eyes. All of these situations that involve lacerations related to the hand or finger, all but one happened after getting it pinched or caught in between 2 objects. Employees need to be careful and identify pinch points, and a reminder to all to keep the guards on all tools. In 2020, it was extremely dangerous to be a deer. We managed to kill 4 deer with our trucks last year. It is extremely fortunate that none of our drivers were harmed or damaged was just limited to our vehicles. After the 4th one, I started to seriously wonder if our truck fumes were giving off some type of deer pheromones that was attracting them to us. Last year, we experienced a large number of hit and runs, vandalisms, theft. It's easy to correlate the increase to the dramatic changes with unemployment and the summer's theme of rebellious nature towards law and order. We can take all the precautions we need to, but in the end, if someone wants it bad enough, they'll get it. What we can do is not to make our sites, trailers, or equipment an easy target. We need to make sure that things are getting chained up, locked in, barricaded, or positioned in an inconvenience manner. What that means, projects that are next to the highway exits are likely to be a target. If there's any opportunity to park items overnight on the other end of the project, it will be less likely that someone's going to make the extra effort to traverse to that area. In the event that something is broken into or stolen, a police report must be filed, and we need to take photos of that area. Keeping your equipment organized will go a long way in identifying what was exactly missing. Central to our AWARE program are goals and objectives that we set forth for our overall safety and health programs. These goals establish the direction for our program and state what we're trying to attempt to achieve through this program. The goals are generally challenging to reach, but possible to achieve. This year's annual goals is 1. Conduct employee training on hazards specific to our job sites. We will continue to use multiple resources to discover hazards that are present on our job sites and follow up with our crews to ensure that they've been corrected in an appropriate manner. I will use an eye auditor during the site inspections. This is an interactive program that allows me to be more organized during and post inspections. It is a seamless function that communicates any hazards that I identified and assign corrective actions to any of the Hench's employees' emails. For example, if I discover an issue with tools missing guards, I can assign corrective actions to the foreman and track his or her progress on correcting the hazards. There is no additional usernames required for the foreman. They will be able to respond to the email, and I'll be able to track the progress after it's been received, and they'll be able to add any photos or remarks about the corrections or anything that they need to help correct it. More training on that is to come. 2, we'll conduct safety meetings on a regular reoccurring basis. These meetings will be held on more higher employee volume projects, but we will work to get them available virtually so anyone can attend that wishes to. There will be different times where the safety meeting will be strictly limited to virtual locations only. All employees and levels of management are encouraged to participate. 3, facilitate job site inspections from a qualified safety professional. This goes beyond myself. This means that we'll ask different department superintendents or on-site superintendents or other levels of management to complete documented inspections in their expertise or general knowledge. We have done this in the past, but we're going to continue to improve our methods in tracking this progress. Reminder, the long-term goal is establish and maintain a culture that is committed to workplace safety and health. Our goals and objectives are to educate and enforce all rules throughout the company, continue compliance with all industry regulations, and become a best-in-class safety performer. Last year, we had a couple surprise inspections from OSHA, and we're very thankful that we did not get any citations. So thank you all who played a role to the success of those site visits. In closing, as we move closer to fully kicking off the 2021 season, I ask everyone to do their part and make the necessary changes to help continue to involve and develop our safety culture here at SM Hentges & Sons. Let's all be SMH safe, and we'll see you soon.
All right, this is one of those things that we do every year at the safety meeting. It'll be a little bit different this year because we're doing this with a video recording, but we like to recognize those people that have made Hentges a place for their career, and we recognize people that have been here 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20. And it's a nice way to recognize the longevity of these people and their contributions to our success. It's a fun thing when we do it in person, and we're able to hand out a little gift card or whatever, and that's always kind of neat. So I'm glad we're able to continue that even though it's video only, and we're going to have some people that are familiar with these folks and work with them closely every day, make a few comments about their work here and their contributions to SM Hentges & Sons. For the 5 years and up long-term years of service. And so what I'm going to do is turn it over to Jer Hentges. He's going to introduce the 5-year winners, and then we'll go from there. So starting with 5 years, here's Jer Hentges.
Hey everybody, thank you. Thank you, Todd. Starting at 5 years, we have Bill Becker. He's on a pipe crew. We have Kevin Fromm. He is the assistant shop foreman, parts manager. We have Bryce Jelicki. He's a bottom man on a pipe crew. Pedro Medina. He's also on a pipe crew. Travis Menden is on a grading crew. David Nelson is our saw cutting expert. Gary Niehaus is on a concrete crew. Alec O'Brien is also on a concrete crew. Tom Swartzer is a grading foreman. Julie Weaver does accounts payable in the office. And we have Michael Williams who runs finished skid loader. Thank you everybody for your years.
All right, thanks Jer. Now we're going to move to the 10-year award winners. And here's Johnny Henches to introduce the 10-year winners.
Hi guys, thanks Todd. So first we got Jordan Bowney, he's a dirt foreman. Next we got Jason Bryant, Iowa pipe foreman. Quincy Cooper, some dirt crew. Steve Engstrom, he's a project manager. Jeff Giller, timberline welder. Don Pallies, curb machine operator. Isaac Soto, bridge structure soup. Thanks very much.
All right, and now we're moving up here in years. We're going to go over 15 years now, and here's Jerry Henches.
All right, for 15 years, we have Tim Ristow, also known as Chewy. Chewy heads up our clearing and crushing operations, also a lot of sheet pile or Movax work. Next, we have Felix Enriquez, also known as just Felix. He is on a pipe crew.
All right, and now we're going to move to 20 years. Here's Johnny.
For 20 years we got Doty and Jim Houston. Doty's a concrete laborer on the concrete crew. Jim Houston, he is a concrete superintendent. And Nate Henches, director of business operations. Thank you for your 20 years.
All right, congratulations to all of those winners. And now we're going to go to a really big number. It's 40 year, and by coincidence, the company is celebrating its 40th anniversary in business this year. And so we're going to find out who's been with the company the longest here. And here's Jer.
All right, well, we'll see if you can guess who this is. One is Steve Henches. He's the president and owner. The other one is his wife, Jeanette Henches. She's the vice president and also the owner. They started the company 40 years ago. Congratulations to you on your success and your years of service here, and thank you for creating an excellent place to work and a great place to call home. Thank you to everybody for all the years you've served, whether it's 2, 5, 10, 20, 30, or 40, and we look forward to 2021.
So what SAFE means to us over the last 40 years and for the next 40 years is our most important goal is to return you all safely to your families at night, every night. And to do that, we need to take all the precautions we can. We have a high-risk business, but safety is our number one concern. We don't want anybody to get hurt, and that happens different ways, but to prevent any of the tragic or high loss is our main goal, to return you home safely at night to your families.
I agree 100%. So anytime out there, if you guys have any questions about anything, about questions about how to be safer or whatever, you know, Adam's always on the end of the phone, or if he doesn't answer, you can always call me. I'll give you the best knowledge that I know. Not being on hand to hand like Adam is all the time. He's got a little better handle on it, but Adam is always my go-to guy, so let him be your go-to guy also if you find something that isn't right out there. And don't be bashful to ask, because at the end of the day, it's our goal for all you people to go home at night to your families.
All right, well, this brings to an end the 2021 Safety Day for SM Henches & Sons. And this has been an interesting experiment, our first time doing this with video and recording. And again, I want to thank our team here, our producer and our director who put this together, and Dwayne and Adam. They did a great job, and really appreciate what they do to help pull this together. It's been quite a year and a lot of changes, and this is just one of them. So thank you, each of you, for watching the video and going through this with us. And thank you for participating in the online portion and the interaction there. And we just want to recap briefly here what we learned today about, primarily about safety and making SMH safe a priority, in all of our jobs, every day, all day, and to not take safety for granted and to not take shortcuts. So really want to keep that as the primary focus, and hopefully we can have a much better year this year in terms of not only the utility hits, but with the injuries and the downtime. So thanks for everybody for your attention to that as well. So it looks like it's going to be a great year. We got through the COVID year, and 2021 looks like it should be a really great year for Hentges. So we'll look for other opportunities to celebrate when the weather gets nice, and maybe get together and celebrate a little more with our 40th anniversary. And in the meantime, have a great season and stay safe. And I look forward to seeing all of you out on the job site in the near future.